Australia, my home nation. As a footballing nation, we really haven't had a very successful history. Besides the 2015 Asian Cup win, our only real accomplishments have been making the round of 16 at the 2006 World Cup and holding the world record for the biggest win in a single football match. Our golden generation was just that, a generation. Players like Harry Kewell, Mark Schwarzer, Mark Viduka, Tim Cahill, Bresciano even. These players defined an amazing run of form in Australian football for the 2006 World Cup. But now the country and the footballing system is on the way down. And if I'm being honest, my hopes for qualification for the 2022 World Cup aren't exactly the highest. So today I look to take control of Australian football and turn the Socceroos into the best international football side in the world. For the first time in almost 2 years, it is time for an international rebuild as we look to win the FIFA World Cup with Australia. But lads, we are on the grind for 400,000 subscribers, and still over 90% of you watching the video right now are not subscribed to the channel. So if you're new around here, make sure you bloody scorpion kick that subscribe button down below. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the rules and objectives of the International Rebuild series. The objective of this rebuild is to take a nation to World Cup glory. All of the games in this rebuild are simulated except for the World Cup final. The talent can be sourced by any means, whether this is youth academy or transfers, and we are allowed to use the 99 manager rating because we are managing the international side, not the club side. So there are the rules. Let's jump into today's rebuild. As you might have seen in the intro, we have taken over Western United in the A-League, but this save is not about Western United. I'm just using them as a medium to bring in Australian talent and grow them using dynamic player potential. But in this rebuild, it's really going to have a focus on the youth academy, because in terms of prospects, there isn't that many crazy Australian prospects. So we can't go out and buy players and then turn them into great players or just have them grow naturally. We're going to have to breed our own new crop of talent. And in terms of budget, we don't really have a crazy amount of money. Like in an ideal world, I could get that George Robinson guy, but for the time being, we're going to have to settle with Ed King as our head scout here. Here's to hoping he can find some decent players, but for the first season at least, it might be a little slow. And the job offer has come through. We have accepted the head job here, taking over from Graham Arnold as the Australian manager. And in terms of where the national team is right now, a few players that you would know, the likes of Matt Ryan, Aaron Moy, Tommy Rogic, but in a grand scheme of things, we are not a competing nation for World Cup glory, so we're going to have to develop the squad, that's for sure. We don't really have that much money to bring players into the club and develop them, so I'm going to have to be selective. The first player that I've gone in for is Alex Gersbach. He has come across from Aarhus in Denmark, signing for £700,000. Our first youth academy product has come through. I've decided to promote this guy straight away. It is Aiden Phillips, a 16-year-old goalkeeper, 63 overall. I would love if we found the next Mark Schwarzer immediately. Been a few months, but we have promoted another player here, Harrison Collins, a left midfielder, 88 potential though. That has me excited. An okay defensive prospect coming through here, 60 rated Brandon Wright being promoted, and a man that looks like he could be a half decent striking prospect for us, Morgan Richardson, 57 rated, but he does have 84 potential. Also, I am trying to get every player that isn't Australian out of the squad, the likes of Bessa, Brisha, Anthony Durante, all these players, trying to get them out of the club so we can have an Australian-only squad, so that at least we're getting some benefit. But unfortunately, that hasn't gone to plan. I'm probably just going to do that business behind the scenes and not keep you guys up to date with all of that, because it really doesn't have a huge impact on the Socceroos as such. A defensive midfielder into the squad here, however, Lance Jackson, 60 rated. Welcome to Western United. And I mean, we have actually managed to get rid of one of the foreign players. But anyways, this rebuild is going to be a lot different to a normal club rebuild, different format. That's the end of season number 1, just laying the foundations for Australian football. I have been developing this guy in the background for a little while here, but it is now time to promote Ethan King to the starting lineup, 67 rated at age 17. I mean, for lack of a better term, this guy looks like an absolute king. But we do have the first stage of qualifiers for the 2022 World Cup, the Asian qualifiers, facing off between China, New Zealand, and India. We're going to have to be on top of our game if we want to make it to the World Cup in Qatar. So I am going to watch this first game through, but for the rest of them, we're just going to keep it nice and rapid, especially in qualifiers. But taking on our neighbours from across the Dutch, it's New Zealand, and we're going to beat them 4-0. That is a good start to qualifying. Sainsbury, Moy, Rogic, and Jamie McLaren all getting on the scorer sheet. It's another big win here as we take down India 4-1. Needed a little bit of defensive support, so we have been able to sign Sam Morris, which makes things slightly easier. 58 rated, nothing crazy, but that potential has me excited. Will Griffiths joining the squad here as well, 61 rated at age 16. We've got goalkeepers coming out of our ears. Now, in terms of overall, Harvey Wright doesn't look insane, but when you take a closer inspection at that goddamn potential, 94 potential, this might just be not only Australia's best ever goalkeeper, but perhaps the world's greatest goalkeeper. Harvey Wright, I'm excited about your future, mate. I've got so many goalkeepers here. We're going to have to just sell off a lot of these goalkeepers and get them all around different clubs. But Connor Mitchell, 89 potential. A lot of the qualifiers come in little sections, like 2 games at a time. But we are traveling to China as we take on, of course, China in this third qualifier, which we are going to win 3-0. We are looking in pole position for a World Cup spot, 6-0 against India, with Awam Mabil scoring 4. God damn Mabil. And it's a 2-1 win over New Zealand, our closest game yet. Okay, I think we have just found another superstar here. We're in season 2. It's taking us a long while to get any real traction with the Youth Academy, but this kid has popped up on my door. Archie Brown, 66 rated, 92 potential. I want to develop this guy into a world-class player. We're also going to sign this guy, Jordan Clark, 91 potential. Starting to find some diamonds in the rough, because what I've done is, now that we're in a new season, we've got more money, I've just started hiring more and more scouts. So more throws at the dartboard means more bullseyes. And what I believe is our final game of qualification sees us go undefeated as we take down China 2-1. A left back into the side. This guy doesn't look like he has crazy potential, but that overall is definitely something to work with. Welcome, Patrick Martin. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of scouting. I've had a lot of players trying to develop here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sign all of the eligible guys in this youth academy setup and get them game time, get them growing. And my mentality in this is, I'm signing a lot of players, but I'm also selling a lot of them behind the scenes. I'm virtually trying to, without sounding like a susso, trying to spread the seed all across the world and just bring in Australian players and ship them off everywhere to get them experience. We have also decided to sign an Australian centre-back prospect, not really getting too many defenders in the youth academy setup, so we've signed Harry Suter from Stoke City. I haven't been showing you every single transfer like a normal rebuild because the video would go for 10 years, but these are all of the players that I have been selling on in this second season here. Like I said, trying to spread the seed. Welcome to Season 3. This World Cup season begins with the signing of Archie Phillips, 88 potential, another exciting prospect. Starting to really get some momentum with the signings. Another left midfielder. This time it is Isaac Alexander. I am going to do what I did last season, and that is promote every eligible player. Just trying to get Australian footballers shipped all across the world to give ourselves the best chance of having a World Cup winning squad. I'm going for width, not depth. No, other way around. No, both? No, I don't know. I'm just trying to get a lot of players. That's what I'm trying to say. Another top quality midfield prospect. Okay, Elliot Alexander, I see you. And another very exciting goalkeeping prospect, Mason Turner. 92 potential. I mean, Australian football is well known for producing top quality goalkeepers. You got Bosnich, Schwarzer, Brad Jones, Matt Ryan, and there might be another one here. I have also decided to sign Daniel Arzani, the man that is from Man City, currently on loan at Celtic in real life. The Australian wonder kid. We have signed him from Man City for £10 million. Hopefully get some dynamic player potential into him. Harrison Bailey joining the squad. Taylor Mitchell, another left back, joining the squad. But here we go, lads. Here is a look at the squad that I am calling up for the 2022 World Cup. Would be absolutely brilliant if we could win the World Cup and complete the rebuild here in Qatar. Whether that happens or not is a different story, but we're in the competition, so we are a chance. Very excited to see how the lads can do. Only a few of our youth players getting in the squad though. Quite an interesting group, however. We have Spain, Wales, and Uruguay. I mean, Uruguay is a very famous nation when it comes to Australian football because that's who we beat on penalties famously to qualify for the 2006 World Cup. Hopefully another famous result against them. But it is a big challenge to kick things off here as we start our World Cup group stages and face Spain. We're going to simulate it and we're going to lose 3-0 with a straight red card for Aaron Moy. That is not, it's a second yellow card for Aaron Moy. That is not ideal. Okay, we are going to be taking on Wales here. Interested to see whether they have a Gareth Bale in the squad, but we need a result here. We're going to simulate it, and the scoreline is going to be a 4-1 win. Rogic, Taggart, and Mobile all getting on the scorer's sheet. We're still alive. It all comes down to this, lads. We need a result here against Uruguay if we are to get ourselves into the knockout rounds. The scoreline is going to be a 3-0 loss. Surely that means our World Cup hopes and dreams for 2022 are dead and buried. So there it is, lads. We have been eliminated in the group stages of the 2022 Qatar World Cup. But on a positive note, we won our first A-League title with Western United. So that is Season 3 done and dusted. We're now going to build towards the 2026 World Cup. Season 4 begins. You guys know the rules already. Let's promote everybody that remains in the squad and get a new crop coming in. Just a little update on how our squad here at Western United is tracking, and it is filled up to the brim. I've been selling off a few players to other clubs, trying to spread the seed, as I've said on numerous occasions, but the growth of the players, especially players like Brown, Richardson, Collins, etc., has been fantastic. And also, the World Cup moved on into Season 4. Germany won the World Cup. So nothing really to show you guys here in Season 4. It was a developmental year, no qualifiers, nothing like that. So let's crack on to Season 5. Season 5's been another developmental year, but we did win the Asian Champions League with Western United, so that's the second Australian side ever to do that. So we move on now into season number 6, where we will have some more World Cup qualifiers. So here we go, qualifiers begin for the 2026 World Cup. I believe that one's going to be in like Canada, the United States, and Mexico. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we have the same group for qualifying. Must be the same way the whole way around, but we're grouped up again with China, New Zealand, and India. And if we wiped the floor in 2022 qualifiers, I expect us to do the same here. Also, a little update on what my sides are looking like right now. The new guards starting to come in. Players like Richardson, Thomas, Mitchell, Harrison, all breaking into the starting 11 right on the bench. He could be the new goalkeeper very, very soon, however. So I'm excited for the future. The first game of qualifying is a 2-0 win against the Kiwis and a 3-0 win against India in the second game of qualifying. We finally concede a goal in qualifying, but a Riley McGree brace makes us 3-0. Make that 4-0. We are on track for a qualification to the 2026 World Cup. We've also won back-to-back Asian Champions Leagues with Western United absolutely destroying Ulsan Hyundai. Qualifying continues. It is a 2-1 win again over China, and we absolutely smack India around to win 4-0. So there it is, top of the Asian qualifiers, and that means we have qualified for yet another World Cup appearance. 2026, let's have at ya. We also won another A-League title here, taking down Melbourne Victory in a Melbourne derby. Quite upsettingly though, there is not going to be a World Cup swan song for Trent Sainsbury. He's an absolute legend of Australian football, one of the best defenders we've had in the past 10 years, but he's retiring from the national team. So that is season number 6 and 2025 done and dusted. We're going to now move on into a World Cup year. Just thought I'd give you guys a little bit of an update on how our squad is going here at Western United. Players like Archie Brown and Richardson really breaking ahead of the pack and proven to be Australia's best talents. But it is time for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. This is the squad we will be selecting to represent the mighty Australia. And it's good to see more and more of our youth academy products getting into the side, getting selected, and really growing after I'd sold them. A lot of these guys we signed early on and then flogged out of Western United to go grow on their own. And they are doing quite an impressive job. But our group is extremely tough here in the 2026 World Cup. In fact, it looks eerily similar to the group we had in real life at the 2014? Yeah, the 2014 World Cup in Brazil, because we had the Netherlands, Chile, and Spain, I believe. But now, instead of Spain, we have the Czech Republic. But I am now playing a 3 at the back formation for Australia at this World Cup. Wright has taken over from Matt Ryan and is now our number 1 in between the sticks. Denyak is going to be the captain. Milos Denyak is going to be captain of Australia. Zani's in there. Brown up to an 89. Richardson to an 86. We could honestly do some serious damage here in the World Cup. This is going to give us a massive indicator on where we are. We face Netherlands in the first game. They're going to have players like Van Dijk and De Jong. And the scoreline after the first game of the group stages is a 1-1 draw. That definitely fills me with a little bit more confidence. This game against the Czech Republic is absolutely huge. They got 3 points to kick off the group stages, so we need to get to winning ways. We're going to simulate here, and the scoreline is going to be a 1-1 draw. I am very interested to see where that leaves us heading into the final group stage match. So here we are. We are on 2 points, taking on Chile. 4-4 both for the Netherlands and Czech Republic, who are facing each other. So we need to make sure we get a win here. And then the other game is an outright win, or we need to make sure we get a big win against Chile. We're going to simulate the game here against Chile, and it's going to be a 3-1 win. Now, I'm hopeful. It was a draw in the Czech Republic-Netherlands game, so we're going to have to check and see if we're through on goal difference. Let's go, lads. We go through to the knockout rounds of the 2026 World Cup on goal differential. But since it goes through the off season, we're going to have to crack on into season number 8 to get involved with the knockout rounds. A massive challenge for us here though, as we face Argentina in the round of 16 of the World Cup. Australia's best ever World Cup finish was in the round of 16 against Italy, where we lost in extra time in controversial circumstances in 2006. So we're looking to make some Australian football history. Whew, deep breath, lads. We have a massive challenge ahead of us here. It is Argentina in the World Cup round of 16. We're going to simulate it here, and we're eliminated from the World Cup. We have lost 2-0. Lautaro Martinez with a brace. That's upsetting. And it was France who ended up winning the World Cup. To make things a little bit better, however, we have won yet another Asian Champions League, 7-1 on aggregate against Sanfrecce Hiroshima, or whatever, whoever the hell they are, Sanfrecce Hiroshima. But I mean, another look at the squad for you guys at the end of season number 8. Got a lot of players that I still want to develop, but the starting players are growing quite nicely. And the board have terminated us because I gave Archie Brown too much money on his contract renewal. Are you kidding me? Are they sure they didn't sack me just for absolutely butchering Sanfrecce Hiroshima? So we're going to have to go to Adelaide United. That's annoying. I won 3 Asian Champions Leagues in a row for you, Western United, and you sack me because I pay our star player too much money. Piss off, Stephen Mork. I don't want to be here. But anyways, that's season 8 done and dusted. In all honesty, I'm probably not going to give much of an attention to Adelaide United. It's all about continuing the growth of the Australian national team. Season 9 is another developmental year, but I just wanted to show you guys that we eliminated Western United in the A-League semi-finals. But Miloš Denjek, the former Australian captain, has retired from the national team. That's upsetting. Let's crack on to season 10. You guys already know what time it is. It is World Cup qualification time. And my God, we have got off to a strong start. 5-0 over New Zealand. Trying to break a record for most goals in qualifying. It's a 4-0 win over India. We're not going to concede a goal, are we? 3-0 over China. The 4th game of qualifying, and we are in a golden position to qualify for the 2030 World Cup. 2-0 over New Zealand. 3-0 over China. And there it is. We haven't conceded a goal through the entirety of qualification. 2-0 over India, and we are headed to the 2030 FIFA World Cup. Look at that. 19 goals scored, 0 goals against. The same deal there for India. India conceded 19 and didn't score a single goal. But we're headed to the 2030 World Cup. Have they even announced where that's going to be in real life? Australian football is looking bright at the moment. We head to season 11 and turn our attention to the 2030 World Cup. It is World Cup time, ladies and gentlemen, and we have been drawn into Group G of the 2030 World Cup alongside England, Romania, and the Ivory Coast. But that clash, that eventual clash against England is surely going to be huge. But here is a look at the squad we have compiled. And I've got to say, lads, I am so proud of the team we have put together, how we have turned around Australian football. So many players in the mid to high 80s as reserve players, and even more players cracking the 90s. I mean, with the way Australian football is right now, our best players are like 78, 79 rated. So the fact that players that are in the 70s can barely make the squad is a huge accomplishment, and I'm very interested to see how we go. And in terms of formation, this is how the side lines up. Virtually our whole attack, except for Harrison, are in the 90s. In fact, everybody in our starting 11, except for Harrison, Sutar, and Clark, are in the 90s. That is unbelievable. But anyways, it is the colonisation derby here. It is England versus Australia. We're just a bunch of English convicts. Let's see if we can take control and defeat England. The first game of the group stages of the World Cup are going to be simulated, and we're going to beat England 2-0. Alexander and Thomas getting on the scorer's sheet. Let's go, Australia. Come on. Second group stage game, we face Romania here. Not sure if I would recognize any of their players, but we're going to get into it, and we're going to come away with another 2-0 result. Time to crack on for season number 12, however. We're in a strong position in the World Cup. Let's see if we can finish things off. Alright, third game of the group stages. We want a strong result here. We want to get through to the round of 16, taking on the Ivory Coast. And that is exactly what we're going to do. We take down the Ivory Coast 5-0 to go the entire group stages without conceding a goal. In fact, the fact that we went the entire group stages and the entirety of qualification without conceding a goal, we're on some kind of streak, aren't we? So we are back at the position where we failed at the 2006 World Cup and the 2026 World Cup. It is the round of 16. We are taking on Turkey. Let's see if we can make Australian football history. All right, lads. A game that on paper we should be getting through, but we cannot take Turkey lightly at all. Here in the 2030 World Cup, we're going to defeat Turkey 3-0 and book our spot in our nation's first ever World Cup quarterfinals. Oh, lads, things just got real. We are taking on France. France are the side that beat us in the World Cup in 2018 in the group stages, but they are the side that won the 2026 World Cup. This is going to be a huge challenge. I'm expecting players like Mbappe and the likes to be absolutely insane. French football is some of the strongest youth football in the world right now. But here we go, lads. Against France, are we through to the World Cup semi-finals? Yes, we are! Richardson, 1-0. We've taken down the French. Oh, we're in a good spot. Semi-final bout, let's go! Oh, I like this! I really like this. Australia versus Italy in the World Cup semi-finals. Can we get revenge for the 2006 World Cup? A large amount of Italian football fans living in Australia that have migrated to Australia. It is a huge challenge taking on the Azzurri, one of the most successful footballing nations of all time, for a spot in the 2030 World Cup final. The scoreline is a 3-2 win. We take down Italy, and we have done it in extra time. Thomas books us a spot to face either England or Spain in the World Cup final. Come on, Australia. So it will be Australia versus Spain in the 2030 World Cup final. So as we head into the World Cup final, here is a look at the squad report for the 2030 World Cup campaign. The squad we have put together, like I said, the fact that we have so many players in our starting 11 that are in the 90s fills me with so much joy. I was a little bit interested to see how things would pan out in this rebuild. I was a little uncertain of my game plan, but the fact that we decided to scout as many players and promote as many players as possible and just kind of ship them to every corner of the globe has worked out brilliantly. We have gone ahead and put together a golden generation, a diamond generation of Australian football. But now it is time to see whether the diamond generation can deliver a World Cup. It is time for the World Cup final. Can we deliver the World Cup to my home nation of Australia? Let's find out. Come on, Mitchell. Oh, it's a good tackle from them, to be fair. Got to stop Spain on the counter. That's a good interception from Morris. Looking for some support. Mitchell holding it up, going to Clark. A little bit of an opening for Clark. It's come back to him. Clark, Richardson, the follow-up. And we have taken the lead through Richardson. We collect the scraps and have an early lead here in the World Cup final. Come on, Australia. Spain looking for a quick equaliser, but we now have an opportunity on the counter-attack. Mitchell, I'm watching for a run at the back post. Mitchell in. Richardson, that's a great save from Unai Simon. It's a good touch from them. We've over-committed. We've got to get Harrison back here. Perez, Ruiz. Got to get numbers. I'm watching them at the back post as well. Got to get somebody to cover that. They've put that one in there. It's headed from Clark straight to Brahim. And it's thankfully saved by Wright. Come on, lads. I would love... I was about to say I love a second goal before half time, but now we've opened it up here for Spain. Perez Ruiz going to Brahim. Oh my God! That is insane. Oh my God. Spain have been all over us lately. Good stuff though from Morris. Come on, potential counter-attack to start the second half. Brown, I see you in the middle, Alexander. I see that run being made from Richardson. Richardson to give us the lead to kick off the second half. That is such a bad finish. Come on, lads. Good run from Thomas. Good ball as well from Brown. That's a great touch from Thomas. Low on stamina, though. Looking for somebody. We're going to go back. Alexander, touch, shot. Oh, what a finish. Alexander puts us... No, I accidentally skipped it. Oh, I didn't mean to skip that, but we're back in front. Oh, Spain looking for a quick equaliser. That's good, though, from Morris. Come on, momentum's on our side. In there. Mitchell. Tough angle. Let's drag it and hold it. We're going to go finesse. Opens green timed. Rodri throws himself. Oh, it's going to be a corner. Time's getting tense now. Spain are looking for an equaliser in the 85th minute. They go through to Hernando. Don't give them any shots. Oh, they've hit that one straight at right. That's too close. There it is, lads. I never thought I would say this in my life, but Australia have won the World Cup. This feels so special for me. Like, in regards to any rebuild I've ever done, this feels so special because it is my nation. Australia, world champions. Lads, if you enjoyed this rebuild, make sure you leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new around here. But please, 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 please savor these celebrations as much as I'm about to. It has been Jared HD here. I'm out. Peace.